Alright, what's up YouTube? We're back with a video. I got 2 submission blocks back from AGS today. I shipped them at 2 different times and I got them back in the same day. Now, I'm obviously going to do a video, right, in 2 parts. Because, you know, it needs to be a 2-part video. Now, what I've seen in the grading space and anybody asking me, you know, or saying like, AGS is shit, this is shit, I'm not sponsored by them, right? I'm getting my cards and I'm sending them into this company and I'm getting the results that should be the results that when you grade your cards, you should have a non-biased opinion on what your items are. Because you are going to see something that has spun me out and made me think that how much actual bullshit is actually in these graded cases, which is actually a 9, and a 9's not a 9, a 9's a 10. And a 10 is not a 10 is a 9. And an 8 is not an 8, an 8 is a 9. So what you're going to see is exactly the bullshit that I see in the hobby, right? And PSA is doing it, CGC is doing it, Ace Grading's probably doing it, and a lot of the other companies are doing it. So in my eyes, there's only 2 viable options if you want to grade your cards. Now, one is not in the UK, the other one is. And the other one is the one I'm using. And they've been doing this since the beginning. So you know that all the certs that they've created from these cards is not, oh, but we changed our standards halfway through. Oh, but we changed our standards halfway through. And now everything we've graded previously is bullshit, right? So, anyway, let's get into this because, you know, this is why I didn't want to make these videos too long. And so, okay. If you want to grade with AGS, you know, I'm not sponsored by them, but if you want to support the videos, because I'm using my own money to crack my slabs, send them back into AGS to get a proper grade on my cards with, like, these are my cards, right? These are my cards I like, I enjoy, and I'm re-cracking them to see if the bullshit, which I'm going to show you guys, right? So, you can use my discount code and get 20% off, you know, it's not my discount code. I don't have a discount code, I have a referral, yeah? The referral is you get 20% off your submissions, like off your first submission, right? So if you want to scan it, there's a QR code here, it'll probably work, but it's in the description below, right? So they sleeved this card. Now, this card is a legendary one. Right, this is a legendary card. Now, I like this idea. When you get a legendary, you know, they've cased it up. Like, I know what the card is, but you guys don't. So it's more like, more reveal for the video. But we're going to save this in this until we get a couple more. So until I get a couple more, you know, I'm going to, what's it called? I'm going to save this one because I know what it is, right? So, obviously, I like the legendary ranks, right? So this is another argument that you get when you grade your cards. If you grade your cards with PSA and you get a 10, you don't know if your 10 is a 10, or it's a weak 10, or it just got the 10, or is it a perfect 10? Have you sent them a card that's a perfect 10 that you don't know is a pristine 10, like a Beckett 10, yeah, or a Beckett Black Label, or a Platinum AGS label, or Legendary, yeah? You see, that's what it is. You don't know if it's a perfect 10. So this is a perfect card. This here is a perfect card, right? So we're going to go ahead and show you the Goku. So this is the Goku. I pulled this on video the other day, if anyone was noticing. This was, you know, a very pristine card, right? The centering is out by 0.1. So it got 9.5 on centering, yeah? And this card got a 10, right? A 10. So if I go like this, wait, I need to actually, like, click on the card before I reveal the card, right? I need to click on the grade. Right, let me click on the grade, right, and we go back to here. You see that this is my card, right, and I'm going to show you this real quick. So I've got to look over something in the way of my screen, and here is the centering on the front. It's by 0 minus 0.5. Now, because the centering overall is a 9.5, this card got the 10, right? This card got the 10. Here's the, you know, the diagnostics to the card. You know why the card is the diagnostics it is. Right, and this is my card. Right, so, you know that this is my card, and my card got the 10. Right, so, there's your first one. Absolute spectacular Dragon Ball Z card. Now, I'm trying to get a legendary 10, you know, Dragon Ball Z card. That's what I'm trying to do, right? Because Dragon Ball Z is printed really well, and we want to see if we can get a legendary one, right? So there's the first card. Okay, so in the meantime, PSA would not grade this. PSA asked me, what is this card? Like, what? What is this card? You guys are the professional company that is supposed to be grading your items, right? They're supposed to be the ones that are professional grading the items. So why are you asking me where the card comes from or what the card actually is? So the card is this one, yeah? So this is the card, and this came out, you know, on June, in like June 6th. And this is the release of the movie promo. You know, it was released in Korea at the event of 2018 when it was, you know, Darkrai and Dialga versus Palkia, right? So this card was not pristine by any means, and so we decided to grade it as because AGS would grade the card, right, where PSA won. So the card got an 8, which I'm more than happy with. 2018 Pokemon Korean The Rise of Darkrai movie promo card. So why would PSA ask me where does this card come from? Your guess is as good as mine, right? So, for example, right, let me go back on the website. We will bring up the reason why this card is an 8. So, I reckon there's a lot of bullshit out there. And the way I mean bullshit, I think there's a lot of bullshit out there. Like, I think we're talking, like, mega bullshit on the terms of, like, grading. So, there's only one of these in existence. Here is the, you know, centering. You know, there's a bit of dirt or something on the card, you know, or just maybe a scratch, bit of edgeways, a bit of corner wear on this card. I do know that. And, you know, the corners on the back, the centering slightly off, bit of scuffs on the back, right? You can see why your card got the grade it did. So the idea that, you know, when you grade with a company, you want to know why your card got the grade it did, right? You want to know why the card got the grade it did. So when you grade with a company and you say, oh my God, why is my card a 6? Why is my card an 8? Why is my card this? Because you want your card to be good, right? So, you know, the idea that you want to know why your card got the grade it did. And these guys are showing you why your card got the grade. So why would anybody say, like, these are shit? Oh, these are shit. But everyone wants to know, you know, will the card sell? Will the card do this? But I believe the AGS 10 is going to pull a premium over the PSA 10. Now, I was right about Pokey Chloe cheating on her man, saying, oh, look, she's probably cheating on her man with Dean, right, blah, blah, blah. And she's not cheating on her man with Dean. She's cheating on her man because to completely somebody else. So, eyebrow raise, like, what? JoeG, bro, my man was right, you know. About this, oh, yeah, of course. Give me 4 years. Give me 4 years. This company is going to beat PSA, yeah? This company is going to beat PSA. Mark my words, you know, PSA is destroying its reputation with the shit going on right now. So we all know that, you know, we've got this shit coming. I'm just checking something if the other cards on the other submission, which it is. Because, you know, we're gonna basically say something about that. You know, we're gonna show you something that, you know, you blow your mind and that, right? Well, not let's see this video, but next one. So this one, Pikachu, which was first edition. 2016, 20th anniversary, and this card, oh mate, this card, so close, so close. Like, you can see I'm like editing the, you know, the camera here, yeah, so close, right? Look at this was an amazing grade, right? Let me scroll down. This was literally, the centering on the front is slightly out, but not enough to bring the grade down, as the centering is above a 9, right? And everything else is pristine 10, yeah? So this card was so close, you know, if this card was slightly centered a little bit, you know, we would have got, you know, basically the legendary 10 on this. Now, I do have another copy of this, and I'm probably going to grade that one again and see if that one will get, you know, like the legendary, right? The legendary is banging, bro, right? That's what I want to hit. So, okay. So here we have one of the cards in question that, you know. So I cracked this from a case. Pikachu, Berkey, Major, Batik shirt. Yeah, so Pikachu with a Batik shirt. It's basically what it is. I cracked this from a case, and I'm not gonna like pull the card down real quick because there's one slight issue with this card, right? And this company original graded this a 9. Now, when I checked this card in the case, I was like, well, you know, this card has the ability to get a 10. So I cracked this card from a case, and under closer inspection out of the case, I realised this card has got a bit of edge wear, right? So I decided to, you know, send this in to AGS, right? And at the chance that it gets a 9.5, not a 10, right? And what did we get? We got a 9.5. So my, you know, suspicion was true, right? So my suspicion was true. And I'm going to show you exactly what is wrong with this item. Right, so let me just go back to this, right? And scroll down, because there's something on this, you know, submission I don't want to, like, kind of show yet. And we're going to scroll down. And everything on this card scored above a, like, pretty much above a 9. And we're going to show you the photo of the edge wear. So the edge wear that I seen on the item. So let me extend out this. So let's just do this real quick. Boom, boom, boom. There's the edge wear. Right, so as close under inspection, you know, this card had edge wear, right? And it got 9.5. So my, you know, case in here was true, right? This card had edge wear, nothing else. So boom, 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 done. Yeah, 9.5. So my conclusion with these, you know, these random companies that start up grading companies, they don't know how to grade. They don't know how to grade. They really don't know how to grade. So you can go on there, find a 9, find a 10, and break it and see if it gets the results you did. So, you know, we're going to make some like short videos. You know, we cracked this card from this company. We regraded it with AGS. We got a 9.5. And, you know, this card is staying with me. I'm not selling it. I bought it because I like it. You know, I bought this card graded because I was like, it's pretty sick. You know, the guy offered me £20 for this card. So I've put more money into this card than I have actually, you know, probably buying it raw and grading it myself. So we just bought boy graded, right? Why not? So this card. So this card was in, I would say, pretty bad shape, right? You know, to my suspicions, I thought it was a pretty bad shaped card. As we know that this card came out a long time ago, and this card is basically, I'll show you what the card is. The card is the JoeG EX. Now, it's very, very difficult for you to get this card as a 10. And I don't know if a card of this actually exists as a 10, because Primal Clash was a very, very shitty printed set. It was terrible. It was terrible. I opened 3 booster boxes, which, you know, I should have probably just kept them all sealed so they made more money, right? The whole idea of you know, ripping booster boxes and, you know, having a fun for the chase card and, you know, having, like, you know, a cool Kyogre and trying to get a 10, well, the quality of the box is shit, right? And you're not probably going to get a 10. So the idea is this card, I had a suspicion it'd probably get like a 7 at best, right? A 7. I was like, maybe a 7. If it gets a 7, I'm happy with that, because I'll probably end up selling it. But as you can see with it in the actual, you know, in the case, it looks quite good, right? Looks quite good condition. They gave it an 8. So it's like, okay, so why is this card? Now, you know, the thing is, you know, this card is a true 8. If you sent this to PSA and PSA gave it a 7, you'd be like, oh, it's a 7. Or it's a 6. Oh, it's a 6. Is it a true grade? Yeah, is it a true grade? Did the grader have a bad day? Did he have an argument the night before? Did he do, I don't know, could he be asked? Was it the last day, was it the last hour of the shift and he wanted to go home and he just had enough that day and he just didn't want to grade it and he was just rushing? The centering's a 10, the surface is a 10, the edges are 9.5, the corners, you know, the corners on the front are a 10, the centering on the back is slightly out, the surface on the back is slightly out, the edges and the corners are shit. Okay. So in AGS, there's no 10s that exist. Mine, there's 3 8s and there's 2 8.5s. So you see, getting this card as a gem mint it may be very difficult. So I could probably see, you know, the 9s or whatever 9s are going to be like really expensive. I don't know why the scans are upside down. I don't know, maybe AGS had a problem or something, I don't know. It's pretty funny that they're upside down, but, you know, it doesn't matter. We can still see what's going off. All right, bottom edge wear. So, bottom edge wear, right? We can tell that. And, you know, there we go, bum, bum, bum. And then we got that on the back. And then we got some kind of issue on, where's that? So that's on this side. So that's probably this side of the card. There's something probably here, right, like a dint, or, yeah, there's like a mini dint there. You see it right there? Look, that's a mini dint. That's a tiny little mini dint. I don't really bothered about this card getting whatever grade it did anyway. It's like, let's just send it in. Let's get some, you know, ideas. Let's get some, you know, data. Let's have a look at some stuff. And the corners on this card are shit. The corners on this Primal Clash card are shit. They've always been shit. Primal Clash was a terrible printed set, and anyone who's been in Pokemon for a long time, it's terrible. It was really bad. Really bad. One of the worst printed sets I've ever seen, you know, so that got an 8, so I'm happy with this. I could probably sell this now, I don't know, maybe 200 quid, maybe 150, I don't know. I'll have to look at the prices. Will I sell this? I would suspect that this card may be something that's probably going to rocket long term. In my eyes, it's just because, like, you can't get, like, pristine copies of this. You're not going to get a gem mint. These cards didn't come out gem mint all the time. So, in my eyes, the 9 is probably going to be the highest price of that card. Do I sell it? Do I not? That's something to basically look at later, right? So, we ended up slabbing this. You know, I had a Raichu GX. I had a couple of these. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll get 10. We'll probably end up getting rid of this. This is quite rare, to be fair. And these aren't very, you know, sought after, I guess. But this one got a 9, right? So this one got a 9, which, you know, is a good grade, right? Usually, why wait 6 months when you can get your cards back in like 5 days, 10 days with AGS? It's like, why wait 6 months at PSA? Why? Why would you wait 6 months? I don't see the point in waiting such a vast amount of time to get your card back, right? And then just finding out the details on why that card is the grade it is now. So, for example, the centering is a 10. Yeah, the surface is a 7, the edges are a 7, the corners. So the only thing I didn't check on this card is the edges. I'm really bad with edges. Like, I really don't know how to determine an edge. Like, that's something I look at surface, centering, you know, and corners. And centering, sometimes I miss on the back, right? I'll go, oh my god, I missed the centering on the back again! Like, I go mad, right? So sometimes, you know, I forget to miss the centering. So, you know, there's some guy who's obviously submitted a gem mint 10, and there's me with the 9. So someone else has submitted that card. So, you know, centering, okay, blah de blah, you know, that's a bit, there's some blemish or some edges wire on the card, right? That's basically it. And, you know, the scans show what the card is. You know, the score shows you why the card did again. So it's 10, 8, 2, 10. You got the back's perfect. The back is pristine on this card. So, you know, these cards were very printed really well, right? I've been grading these, you know, these World Editions cards with PSA, AGS, like you name it. I've graded loads of them, right? So I know, like, I know that they're good quality. They're good quality boxes. So here's one. Okay. So we ended up grading this card with Tree Frog, and this got an Alpha 10. Okay. So the reason why these videos of, you know, these grading companies, and they talk shit, and, you know, some of these grading companies don't know how to grade. They don't know how to grade. And a lot of it could be down to marketing. We'll give this guy a 10. He'll pump our video. We'll get more buyers, or we'll get more graders. We'll get more cards in. We'll try and grow our company. So we'll say that his card's a 10, and we'll give him the best result ever. Okay, so I think that Ace Grading is going to be one of the contenders that is doing this. I believe that they are doing this as well. And if that is the case, and we can get, you know, evidence against them, like, you know, that's basically, that would put the nail in their coffin for them, right? And, you know, people would be like, well, I'm paying all this money, and they're giving my 9 a 10, and they're giving me, you know, all my 9s 10s, because they're doing marketing. Right? They're marketing the company, saying that the grading standards are so weak that, you know, these are 10s. But they might not be. So, anyway, the card in question, which we graded, was this one. So I said, if this card really is a 10, 10, 10, 10, let's find out if it really is. Let's send it to AGS and see what results we get. And Oh, yeah, I'm actually quite hyped getting these back. I was hyped getting these back, right? Wrong answer, boys. This is not a perfect card. Right, so I'm going to show you the scans of this. I'm going to show you the scans of this because this is like basically I've put double submission funds into this. So, you know, this is kind of like, this is like a loss on my side, right? This is a loss on my side, but the thing is, this is proven data. So this is the card. So the centering got a 9.7, the surface got an 8, the edges got an 8.6, and the corners got a 10, right? So, you know, the center on the front's a 10, the surface is a 7, the edges are an 8, the corners are a 10, center on the back is off, edges on the back are off, surface on the back is off, corners is, you know, 10. So there's one that exists. So here's all the issues with the card, right? And Tree Frog said, oh, this card's a perfect 10. Well, it's not, is it? Because we have a perfect 10 by AGS, right? We have a perfect 10. And I was like, this card's not perfect. How is it perfect? We'll see if it's perfect. It's not far from being off perfect. So, you know, it's not like these are where all the issues is. So there's obviously like scratches or something along this card which, you know, we may not have seen or I may not have looked at the time, or whatever. So you can see why this card got the grade it did. So we're going to take this off screen, right? This one was bullshit. So again, you know, back to this card, this is bullshit, right? This is bullshit. This is bullshit. So this just proves that two companies right here that, you know, is grading cards is bullshit. Right? It's bullshit, right? Complete utter nonsense. Nah, this one's going to make you laugh. Okay, PSA. Okay. Please submit again. Yeah, alright. Please submit again. Please submit again. Graded this card in 8. This is the cert number. We have not contacted PSA yet. We have not asked them any questions on their grading. And this makes me question every single fucking card I have. Right? Every single card I have. And we're going to look at this one real quick. So here is a PSA 8. Okay. Now this is a PSA 8. And I probably am going to re-crack this card. And I am going to send this card probably to AGS over, I don't know, let's say the next coming weeks. Right? Because as you can see, this card is really off-center. But this is not off-center. This card is classed as an OC qualifier. Because the centering is massively out of line, right? So they gave this card an 8. In my eyes, I asked for, you know, an OC qualifier and a 9, right? Or don't even bother fucking grading it, right? Give me a 9 OC or don't even grade the card. They give me an 8 and don't even give me a qualifier. It's like, bro, come on. Like, what is wrong with you individuals at this company, right? So, the card... So, is basically this. So, this was the Cosmic Eclipse 8 by PSA, right? And I said the card was off-center, right? Is the only reason why the card got the grade it did. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the website and I'm going to show you this because this is where you're going to be like, what the fuck, right? This just, to me, proves that PSA is just throwing numbers out there and they don't give you any reasoning why the grade got the card it did. So let's go to the back of the card, right? And, you know, the centering of this card is off, right? So the centering. So you got the centering. So you can basically say here, right? Let's pull this up. So will this show you the grade real quick? Yes, I don't want to show you the grade. So I'm going to show you the stats first. So this is the stats, right? So the stats is the centering's off on the front, which was correct. The centering on the off is back, right? The edges are a 9. Obviously, they have a point scoring system. The surface on the back is a 9.5. So realistically, this is a perfect card, right? This is a perfect card other than the centering is off, right? The centering is off. That's what I said, right? So they dropped this card down 2 grades because the centering is off. That is not correct grading. Yeah, it's not correct grading, right? And here's the centering. Yeah, here's the centering. So this is the front, back, blah, blah, blah. This is the front. This is a front center in or back center in, yeah? There's a back center in, and let's go to the front center in. So we'll go to the front, and we'll go to the front center in, and this is the front center in. So the front center in is off. Okay, so what do you guys think that this grade got? Do you think it got an 8? Wrong. Card got a 9. Card got a 9. So I graded this card once with PSA, and this card, you know, let's get a bit of tape, right? Because we're basically gonna, this is gonna be something that we open a case with PSA, and you know, this is, we're gonna tape this onto the back of this card, right? I'm gonna tape it on. We could just sit it in the sleeve, and you know, I'm gonna tape it on. So this card got an 8, and this card was incorrectly graded. This card was incorrectly graded. Yeah, you mark my words. That's what I'm saying. Incorrectly graded. Now, let me talk about money, cash, cost of items. 9 would a 9. What would a 9 be? Okay. So the difference between this card on 8 and 9 on my research on eBay is about £40 difference. So I paid an extra £15 to regrade this card with AGS, right? I paid £15 to regrade this card with AGS. PSA said that with this card was an 8. I am not sponsored by AGS. They don't even probably know that I'm doing these videos. You know, I'm just doing this for own research purposes, right? So the idea that PSA gave this an 8, and if they were, say, selling this on their website, let's say I sold it back to them, they could have upgraded this card to a 9 and sold it and made money, right? But instead, they gave me an 8, so it became impossible for me to sell it, and now I have to regrade the card with someone else to prove, are these guys telling the truth or not, right? And as you can see, they're not telling the truth. This is incorrectly graded. This is the flaws with human grading, right? Because a machine doesn't lie on what this card is, right? And now for anybody that is, you know, wondering to grade their cards and who to use, right? You're gonna like you're gonna like the next video as well. You're gonna like the next video, because the next video is gonna also show you something else, which you're gonna be like, wow, right? So I believe that, you know, these companies are subject to stopping you making money. I believe that they're going to give you incorrect scores so they can pump their company for marketing aspects. And I also believe that these guys are just general scamming. Like, they're just general scamming. They know the populace is into card grading, and if they can somehow manipulate, leverage the grading companies to stop you making so much money, maybe there's someone bigger behind this whole scheme. I don't know. Maybe the 33 Degrees crew is involved in this, just like the video that the channel released with the PSA, or with the Randolph Pokemon, was featured on. And it said that, you know, he declined for comment on the grading ace and all this stuff. And that's what he declined to comment. He declined to answer our interview. Those guys he's associated with, and the big guys who, you know, where the ace grading funding came from. So everybody knows about ace grading was funded by, like, Graded Gem, and, you know, where's all the insurance that paid out to the customers? No one knows of how they got the money to just launch this company. I don't think the YouTube money is that good, right? So what scheme is actually going off for these grading companies? This is my opinion, right? So the 33 Degree guys, they're the guys running the clubs. They're the guys running the show. And they're manipulating grading companies. That's what I believe. Guys, this is a long video. It's 28 minutes. I hope you guys like this submission. If you want me to do any more research purposes, cracking slabs, sending cards in, we have a few more to do. This is something that we may not stop doing. We may keep doing this. I am using my own money. You know, no one's giving me any money. I'm not funded, not sponsored by, not given any money from any other company. So, you know, this is just proof and evidence for the internet. Right? Thanks for watching my video, and we will see you in the next submission. Peace.